Greetings, beloved, on this beautiful day of Venus, Friday, February. No, oh my gosh, it's March 1st, 2024. Yes, thankful for this new day. So, today we have the goddess Ngame. She's the goddess of desires. So, she represents the moon, okay? Illuminating your soul with her arrow, her bow and arrow here. And she has, 3 moons, 1, 2, and 3 crescent moons. I see the planet, look like the planet Saturn in there too. She is the temple of conjurers, the element of air. The zodiac signs is the air signs are Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Okay, so she's here to assist you with fulfilling your desires. Okay, um, assisting you with manifestation. Okay, so that's what she brings. Just remember that you have the power to manifest your desires. That is within you. So don't be afraid. Don't dream small, okay? Dream big. Go outside of the box. Don't be afraid to do that. And conjure up your desires. At the bottom of the deck, we have here, apologies, Queen Mother Nani, okay, the goddess of liberation, freedom. So yes, maybe that's one of your desires, to be free, okay? Don't allow anybody to tell you what you are, tell you how to live your life. That's taking away your free will. So Queen Mother Nani here brings us freedom, okay, and great protection. She is the Temple of Queens. She is the element of fire, okay, and she brings great protection. I see faces here in the bushes and the flowers, which, could be, ancestral energy, ancestral protection watching over you. You are nature. See how there's nature surrounding her? You are nature. And any violations of nature is a great sin. Okay? So the goddess of desire represents the number 8. And when I looked at the clock, when I was doing this reading, it was 818. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus another, 1 is 17, reducing down to an 8. So we're looking at 888. So we have 8s all over the place. And then adding this number 8 to the 37. The 37 reduces down to 10, which is a 1. Newness, new beginnings, endings. Which is an 8, adding all of that together. So we have 8s heavily here. And our 8s is dealing with the spiritual and the material, okay? The 8 is the infinity symbol, okay? The recycling of energy. What you put out, let's see. So 8 there. So it's just a recycling of energy. So what you put out, you get in return. Okay? The 8th also represents positive energy, change, the promise of infinite abundance, prosperity. We are in an 8th year. Okay? So the 8 also represents karma, the universal spiritual law of cause and effect. Number 8 represents, ooh, that marker is strong. Manifestation. Okay? So in this year, in this time, whatever you put out, whether it's good deeds or bad deeds, you're getting that back in return. It's just universal law. That's it. Okay? So there's no way around that. Okay? And also the number 8 represents Saturn, the planet Saturn, which is the planet of karma. Okay? Saturn is the disciplinarian planet. So it's the planet where you got to put in the work to show yourself approved. Okay? It's going to bring that self-discipline out of you. Okay? And it yields great rewards or great punishment. And that depends on your deeds. That's based on your deeds. So, what do you want to do? You have the free will to choose. What are you going to choose? So, yeah. It brings responsibility as the, its structure, long-term goals. The zodiac sign that's associated with Saturn is Capricorn. So, yeah. So, clarifying that, we have the 8 of Pentacles, that 8 again. We just on the 8, and I think it was 8, 8, and 37, which gave us, again, that gave us the 8. Yeah. 16. Yeah. So we have the 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is dealing with hard working, working hard. Okay. The Pentacle is dealing with the material realm. Okay. So you're working hard to bring out your desires. All right. And yeah, it's going to yield whatever you desire, whatever you're manifesting, because you're putting in the work. Okay. And we have justice here. Okay. Ashe. Bringing the balance to all of this. So you're going to, again, it's telling you here, the scales are being balanced to bring in your desires, to balance the scales. Okay? This is bringing that I'm looking at this as the spiritual end of it. Okay, ma'at, balancing, bringing balance and harmony, while you on the physical end, putting the work in to bring balance, to bring in your manifestations, you know, that your heart desires. Okay, again, we have on the bottom of the tarot deck, we have temperance. That's also representing balance. Okay, you patiently working, doing your due diligence. Okay, temperance can also represent the archangel Michael. Okay, bringing, protection. Okay, um, the temperance card is the number 14. 14 reduces down to 5, change. So bringing in that change, which is also in alignment with, those eights with change. So the herbal card that was pulled was Herbal Santa. Okay. And Herbal Santa deals with asthma attacks, so that's dealing with the lungs. It's an all-star expectorant herb to cleanse the lungs and the throats. Okay, it deals with the, colds and fluid in the lungs. Okay, so we're dealing with the lungs here. So in typology, the lungs is the yin. Let's put that there. And it oversees the skin. So you can find the good health with your hair, your skin, your pores. And the emotion is grief. So if you're having problems with your lungs, it could be telling you that, you could be going through some type of grief. Okay. And the polarity of it, it pairs with the large intestines, which the large intestines is the yang. Okay. And the emotion behind that is not letting go. So maybe you could be experiencing a lot of constipation. Hmm? Yeah. And so, let's see. Yeah. So, let's see. It says here the yerba Santa combination. I don't think I have my herbal book here. I don't. So the combination is just basically because when I was studying herbology with Dr. Dawu Abdullah, we had a book with pure herbs. That's a business here in Michigan. They sell, natural herbs. When I first started this in 2006, they were, really, really good, which, I kind of outgrew them. The FDA, did change some things within their organization. And to me, that's when the purity of their herbs were just kind of dwindled down. So they sell herbal extracts. They do sell capsules. They did kind of sell like, topical lotions that were really good. But when the FDA, kind of interfered, they stopped selling those. So, yeah, I was, an affiliate with them. But like I said, I just outgrew them. So, you have to understand, that sometimes, when we're going through these life cycles, you know, what do we say here? That it's the recycling of energy. You know what I'm saying? Things are constantly in motion, constantly moving, constantly changing. So we just, where we are, where we may have been, is, we it's for a reason. It's for a purpose. So we learn from that. We grow from that. And when it's time to move on, we have to understand when it's time to move on and move on. Simple as that. So anyway, the combination is just a combination of herbs, which the herb Santa is the main herb. I don't have my herbal book nearby, so let me see if I can get it. See where it is. Here it is. And I've been through this book. I've had this book since about 2009 on that, and it's just, and they even stopped selling this book. This was a great book. It had pictures in it of the herbs. You know, it has the botanical name of the herbs, the properties and uses, the common names, the parts used, the bodily influences. So this was a great book. I still have it, although the cover is gone. So let's see. Oh, do I have that page? I don't. Have the page. There's a page. There's a couple pages missing here. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's missing. So, however, I just kind of wanted to say there were some correlations with the combination herbs. But anyway, we'll go ahead on and stick with Herba Santa. And so Herba Santa also is good to give you energy, and which would be needed, you know what I'm saying, for conjuring and manifesting and work, putting that good work in, you know. So, it's a good explorant, expectorant, so it expels. Okay. And in this case, it expels mucus, fluid from the lungs. Okay. So I know when my youngest two children, like my second oldest, he, growing up was, had issues with bronchitis, and my daughter with like wheezing, borderline asthmatic, dealing with the lungs. So I used to, when I got into herbs, I would prepare horehound and marshmallow root. Okay, I would actually get uh, the roots, the marshmallow, the fresh marshmallow root, and the horehound, and boil it and strain it and give that to them to consume, and that would expel, um, the mucus out of their lungs. You know what I'm saying? And with the bronchitis, that's just inflammation of the bronchial tubes. So, you have the little pockets there where it will get filled with mucus, and that stuff will come right on out. Then once I changed our diet, got them off the cow's milk, and incorporated more H2O. At the time, we were drinking a lot of alkaline water, which was working for us at the time, you see, was giving our cells a lot of oxygen. Um, and also, I would use like peppermint oil, and my daughter hated it. Okay, but if she would go through an episode of wheezing, I would, have her inhale peppermint oil and drink water, to flush out the lungs. And then I would make that concoction, that horehound and marshmallow root concoction. The next day she'll be fine. I remember, before all that, a couple times I would have to take her to the emergency room because, her oxygen level would drop. So she would be, they call it distress, medical term, where you kind of have a hard time breathing and stuff like that. So their protocol when a child comes in for distress is to give them prednisone. Okay. And I was at Beaumont Hospital and they wanted to give my daughter prednisone and I declined. Okay. Beaumont works with resident doctors, which means that they're, coming out of school and they need somewhere to get their, training or whatever. So they have like a head doctor that they work up under. When I declined that, they were very upset. And I've experienced this like a couple times prior to this experience too, where I would go to the urgent care and they would try to give prednisone and I declined and they be upset with me, and want to challenge me and all this type of stuff. So anywho, they constantly, they had us in triage because they wanted to give her this prednisone. I was declining. They was wondering why I'm declining because they don't get this. They have, especially like with us, our people and our mothers, we're not always educated. Or we don't always, stand on our square. We'll give in easily, even if we say no, then we'll give in or whatever. But I wasn't giving in. And so it led to the head, a doctor, coming out his little chambers to come and face me and basically trying to tell me that I'm declining, you know, I'm preventing them from helping my daughter and I'm declining, medical attention. Um, so he wanted to know why I was declining. I was saying no to prednisone. And I basically told him because it's a steroid and it's addictive. What I knew, I told him I didn't know much about it, but I knew that. And I knew that it was something that I didn't want in my daughter's system. Okay. Um, and I knew that there was a better way. Okay. So they were highly upset. Anywho, they ended up admitting her. And when we got to the floor, the respiratory therapist, they sent in the respiratory therapist. I think the nurses came in and they tried it one last time to get me to give her this prednisone. So when he came in and he said it, and I looked at him, I gave him this look. I think it was my grandma look. And I told him, I said no. And don't ask me again. And he was like, okay. They backed the hell up off me then, okay? So the respiratory therapist, apparently it got to, everybody. He came in and he was like, he used a yonker. And that is, they kind of put it in the nasal cavity to suction out mucus. And he said, you don't need prednisone. All you have to do is keep her nasal passage clear. And I'm thinking like, I know this. Thank you for confirming it. So he put that yanker in her nasal cavity and, withdrew all that mucus. And her O2 levels went back up to 100% because I think they were like at maybe a low 90s. And that's pretty, low. You want them to be in the high 90s to 100 pretty much. And once he did that, her O2, oxygen levels went up to 100. And that was that. So, I started, doing, some studies into natural modalities and herbology. And so that's when I started doing, my little thing with giving them, my little horehound and marshmallow root concoction, increasing their water intake with the alkaline water. We were doing number 9, because that's kind of like the base level. And, I took them off the cow's milk. Um, we weren't doing any pork anymore. Um, and we weren't, I think at the time, I just went down to fish at that time. Yeah. And then how I was pairing our foods, changed. I was reading the labels, when I went to the grocery store, and the oils that I used, if any, the butters, the spices.